Welcome everyone to Plastic Hearts Podcast number 76. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev extraordinaire and shaggy hair companion Gavin Jones. We break down the gaming news each Monday here on twitch.tv/Plastic Hearts Podcast. You can join us in the chat or email us at plastichpod@gmail.com to get your questions or comment on the show. Gavin, after that intro, how are you doing?
Ooh, you're getting saucy with this intro. I wasn't ready for. Is this a 3-star resort? Where did I just go?
Oh yeah,
my goodness.
I mean, the plan with that is just to get people aware before they tune out after hearing my voice. Be like, whoa, stop. You can, there's other things going on before you hit unsubscribe. So that's a plan.
You gotta hit that bell. You gotta tickle that follow button, and you gotta revine the tweet machine.
That's how it works.
I don't know if revining was a thing.
I don't think the internet is for us, Gavin. I think it's passed us by, really.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just dab my way out. And we'll see.
Yeah, it's also a relic of the past. Gavin, how you been?
It was a good weekend. It was a solid weekend. So I've been good. Work's crazy, but we're good. How about yourself?
Same here. I mean, it's not very crazy at my job, but it's building up. It's a coffee shop. We're getting more people outside. It's just kind of hobbling along until everything kind of goes back to normal. But yeah, I mean, it's in our state, it's 1,000,000 fucking degrees. So just trying not to melt. And it's just like the same old story. I feel like it never really stays that hot here for that long, though. So I think we kind of have a window where it's like hitting its peak, and then it'll start to go down, I feel.
Yeah, I think we definitely got. No, I don't know. Last year I feel like it was pretty murderous, and I want to say the year before that, like, I don't know. I disagree, but you might be right.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, man. And then the past summers we had like crazy smoke and stuff, forest fires, and like I'm at least glad that we don't have that bullshit going on. Give a quick shout out to Skull Commando in the chat. He says, "Old school, yeah. Hello guys. Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining the chat here." So we're not screaming into the void as usual.
Probably load that up.
You can. I'll just let you know when they're talking shit about you, Gavin.
Oh, okay. Well, I assume that's always.
Yeah, well, that's standard. But
if I were in the chat, that would be me.
Now, what you been playing this week?
That's a good question. Not Origami Prince like I intended to. So that was going to be my thing that I played this weekend. Instead, I cleaned my house. Like
that's a good thing to do. That's what we all should be doing, really, is like actual chores and things like that, getting our life together. But
now, out of curiosity, so this background on the podcast, is it? So it looks like it's coming down this way, but is it really just is it just scrolling to the right and that's all?
Yeah, it's just a left to right scroll. It's not very fancy. It's a very basic Photoshop tools to create like a GIF, and it's just that's all I need to do, just the bare minimum, just something moving along. Because I dabbled with like the static image or whatever, but
yeah. Thank you, Queen Bundy.
Yes, Gavin. So it was your birthday yesterday.
Yeah. Which is a stat that I've largely kept off the internet until now. But
well, now they know your true age of 17, so you're getting on you're growing up.
Right. My social security number is also so birthday yesterday. We kind of did I feel like we kind of did that up on Saturday instead. But yeah, so now I think I'm 32.
That's where I'm at. Yeah. How do you feel about birthdays as you get older? Like just the idea of growing older. How do you feel about commemorating it every year?
Right. I stopped celebrating birthdays, I think, after I turned like 21. Because after that I didn't really care. Like, they're not going to take away my ability to drink. So why would I care?
Right.
But yeah, so I'm not really into birthdays.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of the same way, just kind of growing more into a grumpy curmudgeon. But it's not like I don't enjoy them. It's just it doesn't, at least with mine, like it's just not on my radar. I just kind of like, yeah, that's cool. But I always, even we're driving one day, me and Megan, and I was like, what if we do birthdays every 5 years? And she's like, almost made me pull over. It's like, are you fucking insane? Who would do that? But her, like it's like birthday months with her. Like, she really likes to do it up, and more power to her. But
I could honestly get down with that. Like your birthday's every 5 years, but you go fucking ham.
There you go. That's something to that.
And I'm totally down with that. That's gonna be my new 3 years from now, my 35th. That's when we're gonna. I mean, that kind of is. People largely do it like when they hit a new zero. I feel like a five is sort of in there. So
Right.
that's our new pattern. When we get to the 35, or how old are you now?
I'm 30. I think I will be 32. I think you're just like slightly older than me. Yeah. So I'll be 32 pretty
Okay.
soon.
Yeah. So 35. It's gonna be your sweet 35. We're gonna get you a Ferrari, and you're not gonna remember.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And
Yeah. So Bunny's in the
for that
chat.
reason,
She says you're insane for that reason, many others. Yeah, it's just certain things. I just lose the emotion. All emotion is just kind of leaving my body, and I'm just turning into like a robot, I guess. But
I would love to propose this idea though. I think we throw that up on Twitter, a poll, like instead of birthday every year, every 5 years. I bet a lot of people would be down with it.
it's possible. Yeah. At the same time, I think everyone likes to. There's always something in the back of your mind, like you like that special a day that's dedicated to you. It's either we do it every 5 years or every day is dedicated to me. I don't want to settle for anything less, so we pick one of those. Those are my demands.
It's my birthday year. Oh shit. My birthday season.
Birthday season.
Birthday decade. Anyway. But yeah, what you been playing?
I've been kind of jumping around, playing about an hour of various video games. One of them was Ooblets, that came out a couple days ago, and I actually got a code from the Ooblets team. Like a bunch of people, if you if you emailed them and subscribed to it or like applied, I got a free code to play the game. It's really cool. It's strange. It's almost like Pokemon, where you're collecting these little characters called Ooblets, and you're running around, and the gameplay is very much like I guess sort of like a Pokemon battle, but you're dancing, and you have these cards that you can use that have a dance move, and the goal is to get to a certain amount of points. And you have this kind of random assortment of cards, but it's very simple. Like I've seen card-based stuff. This is simple enough for me to understand, and there's just like it's so cute. It's everything about it is super adorable. So the characters are funny. The actual Ooblets are funny, and it's just super adorable. The art style is really cool. It looks a lot like the Untitled Goose Game with that kind of style. But you're dancing away and you're running around, and yeah, it's really neat. It's very unique.
The fuck? It's a dance battle?
Yeah.
Game with cards?
Dance battle, game with
footage.
cards.
All I can find is footage of the farming, which is why I was
there's a farming aspect of it too. There's a lot going on.
I mean, from what I can see, that's the entire aspect of it. I'm not seeing any of these.
So that's one side. There should be the battle. Eventually, you'd see like battle footage of it, and I have some stuff pulled up right now. But yeah, it's like there's all these different kind of components going into it, where you're battling, you're dancing, you're growing these Ooblets in the first place. You're battling for the seeds to grow them. So you have that, and then you have that farming side of it. But then you have the townspeople, which are just hilarious in what they say to you. A lot of them are just fucking crazy, or just kind of spout out all this nonsense, or sometimes like weirdly motivational stuff you'll talk to him about. It's very cool. Like it's very much Katamari in like how weirdly stylized it is, and just how unique it is. Like it's almost could be Japanese, but you could tell it's like very I don't know, it just has like a either American or like an international feel to it, but it's cool. But yeah, I'm about 2-3 hours into it right now.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm finally seeing the dance battle, and looks interesting.
It's kind of like
I don't
a
know
Fight
what's
Club.
going on. There's no health bars.
So
I guess there's sort of something on the right and the left. I don't know what those are.
Yeah, that's your health, or that's the goal. Like you have to outdance the other Ooblet until you reach that point. And everyone's like in a circle. It's almost like a Fight Club, where like they have their cars, parked in a circle with their headlights on, and you're gonna bow to the death. But it's these cute little characters that are like animals and little vegetables and stuff like that. It's really a weird fucking game.
I do appreciate your character is also in the arena, and he's just doing the white people dance.
Yeah. Just kind of trying to, like the older dad, just trying to like keep pace with it.
Moseying back and forth, trying not to fall down. I believe is what you could call that.
But yeah, I've been playing it, and it's I've just scratched the surface. Like there's a bunch of stuff to do in there, but it's pretty cool. It's very unique, and it was on my radar for a while just for like the art style, but there's actually a lot to kind of pick apart in that game. But another one, so I've been juggling that between another game that's like crazy different. It's that game Carrion that released with Devolver Digital. It was on Friday when it came out. I want to say, anyways,
Yeah,
it came out.
it's
That
got
one
some really good reviews.
I haven't read any of the reviews yet, but just because I'm like in it right now, just playing it. But I'm loving it. It's really fucking cool and just creepy and gross, and it's just like the coolest 80s movie you'd play you'd find with like the Thing or something like that. But you get to play as this creature, and
Mhm.
very quickly the game lets you mess with like the civilians or like the people, so you can creep them out. You can use this voice command to kind of scare them and trick them into not knowing where you are, and knock out lights. And yeah, there's a
In-
lot there. It's really cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely be like, I definitely want to just control it because I like looking at it from a distance. I don't know how it controls. I don't know if I'm gonna like the way it controls. So it's definitely one where I'd love to try it. Um,
Yeah, so I was playing
so
on
interesting.
Xbox. It's on PC as well, but you kind of use the thumbsticks to create the direction you want to go, and then the character with the carry on whatever thing will follow. And you can easily like with the thumbstick go around, the level and just decide where you want to go by like hugging the walls or just kind of shooting your tendrils and then shooting across. And you have a bunch of different moves. So like quickly, I thought, okay, this is cool, but it can get old. But then they start to introduce different mechanics. So you're not just like eating people. Some characters you can't eat, like they have shields, like they're the super soldiers or the security in that area. So you have to do
Uh-huh.
that. Yeah, there's puzzle mechanics where you have to shrink and lose biomass and then regain it to fit into other areas. And one thing was really sweet about the saving mechanic. You basically start to take over this facility, and so you like find these holes to just imprint yourself and grow. And then you start to do
Mhm.
that over and over again to kind of those become save points, but also that's how you take over this facility just like slowly by like spreading your biomass. And it's super gory. Like the way you take apart the people once you grab them and they're yelling and screaming and stuff, you're eating them, shooting out bones, and it's just in blood and stuff. Oh man, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I can't wait to get kind of like your final review, see if it lines up. I mean, the fact that it's getting really good scores. So
Mm.
I'm thinking it's just gonna keep getting better. And you're gonna come back next week like, dude, play this game.
Yeah, already I
And
can.
then we'll
It's
play
it's it's on point. One thing I guess I wish, because they're nailing that like '80s monster aesthetic, if they had a soundtrack that I think matched that. From what I can tell so far, I'm not feeling that. But it is creepy where you're hearing the sound effects and stuff. I'm just not hearing a cool like. I would want some kind of, I don't know, a Stranger Things like badass soundtrack in the
some
background.
synth wave.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love how you can just like you can terrorize the people. So it's almost like I just brought up an Entitled Goose Game with the last one, but it's almost like that where you feel like you're an asshole the way you're attacking these people, but it makes you want to be that asshole because you can strategically like say there's a character who's trying to shoot you, you can hide in the vent and eat his buddy on top of him, just dripping the like bones and stuff through the vent, so the character just sees that and is freaking out. Then you can use your echo or like growl to make him think he's over there, then move around the vents and then make him think you're over here, and then eventually like, and you can just like Batman like yoink people out of the sky or out of the vents, and the other characters just see that person disappear. It's just this makes you want to be that enemy that that you'd find in one of these movies, and it's really cool how they quickly make you think that way like this character.
That's interesting that they really put in that much time and the effort to the AI to make it so that these people really react and act fearful. That takes effort. Um, so that's very cool that they did that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say, at least so far, that the AI, like, I feel like they're smartly reacting. They're just kind of moving around, and you can see them like scream and kind of cry sometimes, but I don't know if they're like smartly going around you or that kind of thing. They're kind of like cannon fodder, but they do introduce new enemies that are just harder to kill. So I'm not sure on that front yet. I have to play more of it. But yeah,
Gotcha.
so far it's
Gotcha.
really cool and surprisingly deep. I think, was this one like didn't interest you? What about it kind of rubbed you the wrong way when you were seeing footage?
Just the movement is
Gotcha.
all. It looks weird.
I hear
But
that.
I'm sure I could possibly get into it. I just have so much I'm playing right now already. Um, that yeah, that's about it. And it's one of those games where it looks like if that movement doesn't quite work for you, like it reminds me of when I played Gish almost.
Hmm.
And like you either like that gameplay or you didn't, and if you didn't, then you're not gonna want to play past 5 minutes.
I can see that.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, if you give it a raving review, I will absolutely blast through it in a weekend.
Well,
and
it's
then
a Game
just
Pass game too. I'm not sure if you still have Ultimate, but I want to say this would still be under Game Pass Ultimate.
I do not have Game Pass.
Hmm,
Yeah, I
gotcha.
do need to get that anyway. So
I mean, we'll get into the one of the reasons why. I mean, this is what Microsoft talked about this week is how it's like Game Pass is the future, and so this is another game that you can't go wrong having, and you can buy it on its own and all that. I think it's coming to Switch, or if not, if it's already out on Switch and PlayStation 4 eventually too. But right now, Xbox and PC for sure.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Besides that, just kind of also cutting the time with chipping away at Tsushima. It's such a just a
Oh,
lengthy
sure.
game, man. Like, and what doesn't help is I keep pausing to take pictures. I cannot stop because it's so beautiful. So this is gonna take a while. I'm just gonna just hack at it every other day, and just spend hours there. But it's gonna take a while to complete that game.
Yeah, yeah. Now, lengthy or girthy? Which would you describe it more
I
as?
think both. Yeah, because there's a
Yeah,
lot there. I've heard some criticisms
all
with
around unit.
all around unit, yeah. It's sending me home happy and not walking straight. But there, I've heard some criticism with. Was that a weird one? I heard criticism with like the some of the AI because they are kind of dumb at points. Like, but the combat is tough and satisfying in that way. But like if you try to go in stealthy, I've heard a lot of people complain about how it's hard to do that. It's not easy to create that ghost route. You kind of always have to end up fighting, and it is a little bit of a bummer there. But the fighting's so tight that I'm not really angry when I do get caught or like for some dumb reason it gets spotted and then I have to go and fight everybody.
Hmm. Yeah, that does seem to happen from what when I've been watching streamers playing it. It seems to be kind of the common thing. Yeah. How do you kind of feel about that though? Were you really going to play this game stealthily to begin with, or?
I think for some reason naturally I will try that with a lot of games. If there's an option, I'll try stealthy, and then I guess I'll determine, based on what the how the level is set up, which route I want to take. But even with like Metal Gear Solid or that kind of thing, I'll start it, or like Last of Us too. I'll start it stealthy, and then I will eventually either if I get caught, and then it's just balls to the wall, just kind of blowing everything up. But I do wish I could just kind of like sneak through the shadows a bit more if I could pull people through. I haven't seen yet, maybe it's in the game, but like there's a lot of these traditional Japanese like paper sliding doors or windows, you know what I mean, where you can see like silhouettes. What I want to be able to do is just like stab someone through it and like pull them through. That'd be awesome, but I haven't been able to see how that's possible yet. But
You might be able to, because if you have your sword out, then you can burst through those doors.
oh, I
But you
haven't
have to
done
have your
that yet.
sword out to do it.
Gotcha,
It's like
gotcha.
I watched a streamer who there was a glitch where the game thought their sword was out, which is kind of goofy because they walked by a horse and the horse got stabbed, and he's like, what's going on here?" Uh, but yeah, all of a sudden he was bursting through all these doors, and he realized it was because he was glitched. So that's how they found out about that.
I see. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, and that just means I need to spend more time with this game. But man, I
Yeah,
can't stop. If I could stop taking pictures, then yeah, I would understand more about the mechanics and complete
yeah,
this. But it
yeah.
is what it is. But yeah, so nothing else you've been playing this week?
So let's see. I played a couple of betas, Devolver Digital betas they got going on right now. Sounds like
Hmm.
they're going to keep testing these. Blightbound was neat. That's one of the games they're working on. It's a 3-player dungeon brawler, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I wasn't super feeling the gameplay when I popped in, but that being said, I've never really liked beat 'em ups, and this is like a beat 'em up with extra layers of technicalness.
Hmm.
Um, so I'll have to give it another fair shake and kind of see what I think. It definitely is nice because there's only 3 classes. It seems like whichever one you tumble into, um, really you should be able to pick it up. But yeah, there's a lot of buttons per character, so there's kind of a bit to it, and it seems like, which is kind of nice because whatever role you play, you really got to dig into that. If you're the defensive class, you're going to block. The other two, you're going to be dodging. um yeah, you just really want to play your role. I gotta play some Fall Guys,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, so I'm not super great at it. I don't know that anyone is. There's definitely a lot of luck involved in, like, not even necessarily like RNG, but like just who happens to come up on you at the wrong time and fuck over your whole plan,
Yep.
which wasn't that big of a plan to begin with. I'm still not sure on the controls. It could probably be a bit tighter, but I don't think they're going to make it tighter. I think they're going to make it looser. I think they're going to make it dumber, and that's fine. Um, it would have been nice if there were more players. I think that's going to be the thing. The queue took a little bit to fill up, and the
Mm.
fact that when you're out. So if it's just going to be like me jumping through party to party, trying to earn my way to the top, that's going to be a blast. But for right now, it's still in beta. That's still going to be an issue. But
Now, a
yeah.
couple of questions. Is it sort of a battle royale where you have a certain amount of people and you start to dwindle like
Yes.
whoever's okay? Gotcha.
Yeah, which I didn't realize going in. I thought we were going to be able to go multiple rounds, but yeah, like first round I survived, second round I was knocked out. And that's kind of the way it is. But it's super cute, and the physics do work.
Yeah, because you were
So
kind of wondering how they're going to make that work, and so have you encountered any wonkiness to the physics?
no, it worked great.
Nice.
So good on them. And then I played a tiny bit of Bug Fables. Still great. So
Nice. I know with the Fall Guys, it's going to be, I want to say August, it's going to be PSN's free game of the month, along with Call of Duty 2 Remaster. So it's going to be a free for PSN players or users. So I'll definitely try it there. You won't, I don't think there's crossplay, so we won't be able to play in that way, but at least I'll be able to try it out.
is there no crossplay? Let me look this up.
It's possible. I just assumed there wasn't, but
I can't think of a better candidate
yeah.
for crossplay.
So,
Unfortunately, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout will not support crossplay between PC and PS4 at launch.
but it's possible. Gotcha.
Uh,
Now I'm looking at footage of it, and that's the first time I've actually sat down and watched footage of this game. It looks just ridiculous and nuts. So it honestly it reminds me of like the Tough Mudders or Spartan Races, where it's just a bunch of people running at the same obstacles at the same time.
to me, it more reminds me of Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, aka Takeshi's Castle. So yeah, that traditional Japanese style, or I don't know if you want to say traditional, just
Got some weird
my
audio.
cat.
Oh, reenacting Fall Guys in the corner with your cat.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's sort of that over the top, or even like it makes me think of Wipeout, the TV show Wipeout. And you'd love to be on this, and you probably won't be able to afford to get on that show, but this is the closest we can do, and I'm good with this. Especially in the summer, we're all stuck inside. What a great time to have this big dumb social thing.
Yep.
And yeah, it's neat, and I think it will be fun when you do survive all the way to the end. It's almost like somebody took mini games from what's it called?
Like
Mario Party.
Yeah.
A way to make them be not disconnected. I mean,
Mm.
it is still a game show, which Mario Party obviously is a board game. But yeah, I don't know. This almost works better. But the controls, yeah, they're super loosey goosey. We'll see if I can get used to that. I never did play Gang Beast or Human Fall Flat or anything like that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But again, and then I played a little bit of Bug Fables. But
I see.
yeah, good stuff. Fun to play. Fun to check those out.
Nice. Yeah, video games are cool, man. You know what? It's a controversial statement, but
I know.
pretty sweet. So yeah, let's get into some of the news we got, Gavin. Over the week, we had the big Xbox game showcase that they had going on. So there's a lot to pick apart. What I do have, the first thing to kind of go over is just what they announced in the first place. And then we can kind of pick apart each of these individually if you want as well. So the original article here is from The Guardian. This is Keza McDonald. Xbox Series X game showcase. Halo, Infinite, Fable, and more as it happened. A summary of what was shown at the Xbox game showcase on Thursday, July 23rd. So going through these, we had, of course, Halo Infinite's campaign, which we'll get into. We had a quick look at the new Forza Motorsport. So this one was interesting. This isn't the next line. It seems like a reboot, or they're going back to just calling it Forza Motorsport. That was interesting to see. There was some footage which looked, amazing. I'm not sure what point of the game that is, but it looked really dope. We had zombie multiplayer game State of Decay 3 was actually announced, but they had a CG trailer for that.
I still need to play those. I think I own both of them. Never played them.
I played through the first one. It's really cool. I think they had a lot of bugs in the second one apparently, but I think overall it was a solid experience. And I think you can play multiplayer. Like that's the whole the whole thing in the one of the sequels. But I liked it. I like the scavenging and having to build your community and kind of making sure everyone has enough stuff, and then like losing party members and they just die and that's it, and you have to figure it out from there on. I did like that. So we'll see what they change in that third one, but. So going down, we got a beautiful new fantasy nature game from Rare Everwild. So we've seen this before, but they just kind of talked more about it. And it's interesting.
Yeah.
They've talked to Rare about this, and they've said that like they're still working out mechanics. So this is going to be a while from now before this comes out. Like they're still kind of figuring out what the game is.
It definitely makes me nervous that they're working out mechanics like
Mm.
well after they've announced it. But that being said, that trailer was gorgeous. Didn't tell us anything, but it was gorgeous. Sounds like maybe rhythm, maybe an element, or music, or some sort of something like that. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it is strange. They don't show much. It does seem like there is like a multiplayer or like a party aspect to it where you have four people. There always seems to be like 4 or 5 characters in one group. So at least there's that going. I guess they could use the structure of what's the C game they're doing. I guess they have the bare bones of that, like networking that they can branch over to this gameplay. But Sea
oh,
of
is it
Thieves.
multiplayer?
That's no, they haven't confirmed it, but that's the vibe I get because there's always like 4 or 5 characters together. It seems like there's a party element to it.
That'd be interesting. They're kind of taking the lessons they've learned from that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's crazy that like just no one knows what to expect from Rare.
Yeah, that's one I
Absolutely
think.
no idea. It's
And
nice to know that the Connect is dead, so they can't be making more shitty Connect games.
right.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I'm hoping
literally.
that it seems like Xbox is giving them somewhat of a blank check with their projects, and I think that's a team you want to do that with. You want to see what they can create, and they're super ambitious, and you do want to keep the reins somewhat in, with like making sure they provide a product. But like they put out Sea of Thieves, and they kept working on content with that, so I think you can trust them to create some cool stuff.
Yeah. It does kind of blow my mind with CFC. It seems like these players are very much being drip fed new content for them, but they still eat it up. They still love it,
Mm,
which really blows my mind that like it just must be that much fun to
right.
play this. Is that what it is? Even though it's simple and you're not leveling up or anything like that, or you're not like gaining more powerful guns, like is the core gameplay that good? And if so, fucking good on them. Um
I
that's
think
crazy.
yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's the reason why they're coming back to it because that gameplay loop is so satisfying, and that shows even more how they're experts at what they're doing over there, crafting this gameplay loop that keeps people in there.
Yeah. We still gotta try it. So we'll get you, we'll
Hmm.
get your nephew in there. I don't know how big a full party is supposed to be in that game.
I think it's up to you, yeah. But like if we throw my nephew in there, that's a good just
Because
wild card to just like potentially fuck things up that I think could add to the whole experience of like just messing up trying to cruise the ship around because somebody didn't do something.
oh,
Um,
I'm sure he'll be in there cranking 90s, and
yeah.
I guess max crew size is 4,
Okay, but anything
which
up
is
to
pretty
4 maybe.
reasonable. Yeah. If it's still difficult in this day and age to get, 4 people together to play something, but
Yeah, I don't even know 4 people, so
yeah, exactly. It's a big ask.
yeah.
You got all
So
these board games, and I'm over here like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." Uh,
nice, Gavin. So let's see. Going down the list again of the other announcements, we got updates on Don't Nod's Emotionally Charged Tell Me Why, and Ori Will of the Wisps is coming to Xbox Series X. We got a new first-person fantasy RPG from Obsidian called Avowed. This one was big, right? Because this is Obsidian coming back to this like
yeah.
fantasy RPG kind of setting. Well, I don't know about coming back because they've done New Vegas. They had the Outer Worlds, and now this is something that's more akin to like if they were still with Bethesda, something that would be born out of that. But I'm super stoked for what they would do with Avowed.
I didn't know they were big enough to be working on multiple things at once. The fact that they're doing a DLC for the Outer Wilds
Yeah.
at the same time as making a brand new game that looks super polished, this time starting out with a bigger budget than the Outer Wilds, which was pretty ambitious, ever had. So we don't really know how big this is. Is this going to be kind of like Outer Worlds was, or where it's a smaller kind of version of
Mm.
that game, or is this going to be a full size? I don't fucking know. Uh, is it going to be funny? I don't know that it'll be like Fallout humor is sort of built into there. This game certainly had more humor. Is their RPG going to be serious or funny? What are they going to do with it? We'll see.
Yeah, those are good points because the trailer shows the kind of idea behind it. It doesn't give off too much, as far as like how big this world is, what the writing looks like. But it does look really cool, and the way you're casting these spells seems really interesting. And like, I fully trust them to achieve this. But you're right. How big is Obsidian now? I guess you could theorize that when Microsoft purchased them, they gave them another blank check and said, "Figure it out," and just here you go. Because they're also working on there's a DLC for Outer Worlds. There's this game Avowed. There's that other one where you're shrunken down, which that one releases this week or just
That's
recently.
right. Yeah, it's coming out soon. When
What is
is
that
that?
game called? I want to say Honey I Shrunk the Kids because that's always what I think of when I see that.
It's not the most memorable name.
It's
Or
like
I think I don't think it's coming out. I think it's like an alpha or a
yeah,
beta is coming out
you might be
so you
right.
can be playing it. Obsidian.
So like, oops, I shrunk the kids again, or whoops, I did it again, something like that.
Uh,
Or Bug's Life. It's like you're small little dudes.
it is grounded.
There you go.
Not fucking helpful. Not helpful.
I mean, it's not a terrible name, but I can't for some reason keep it in my mind. So
Yeah, this does remind me of a game I was hoping would be here because it was at PlayStation, but it wasn't. Was the Deathloop? I was hoping we were going to
oh,
get 2 showings
gotcha.
of Deathloop, but
Yeah, that's a good one. So let's see. Going down to the other announcements, we've got As Dusk Falls, a striking-looking narrative adventure. We have a psychedelic montage from mind-melting platformer Psychonauts 2. I don't know if we got to see that gameplay they had, but it was just super trippy. I think you mentioned, yeah, because they had Jack Black. They showed him in the booth doing the voiceover, the song for that game, or for that level, rather. And yeah, I love how they're building this next one because the fact that they go into people's minds in the game just means that anything is possible as far as like where did they decide to take the levels and all the different themes that they can achieve.
oh yeah, absolutely. And it definitely already like was possible with the last game, and this now we just have more technology,
Right.
a bigger budget. This is going to be fucking buck wild.
Oh yeah.
Even more so. So see
Nice.
how that goes.
Yeah, I'm stoked. We got Destiny 2 Beyond Light, which is the next DLC. It's going to be optimized for Series X. And I want to say they also announced the DLC for Destiny 2 is all free on Game Pass, too. That was another thing that they talked about,
That sounds correct.
which is a pretty big deal. And we'll talk about just the whole aspect of Game Pass now as we move forward. But quick announcement of Stalker 2. They kind of showed off the trailer. I wasn't sure what they were revealing when they were initially kind of showing this. Like it was Russian, it was post-apocalyptic. Is this, what is this? And I was thinking in the back of my mind, like I haven't seen anything from Stalker in a while. And sure enough, it's Stalker. And was there already a Stalker 2? This is like traditionally this is a PC game. This is what this came out of, right? Was there already a Stalker 2 and this is a remaster, or is this actually there never was a sequel to Stalker?
I thought there was a sequel, but there must not have been. So it makes me wonder if maybe there was a like an expansion at one point, because there was back in the day where expansions on PC games are basically whole new games, like seriously big expansion. So I wonder if there was an expansion, and that's what I thought. I don't know if I just said this 2 seconds ago and forgot about it. I did, but I really thought this was going to be Atomic Heart when they were showing
Oh,
that
sure.
trailer. So
I think that one was a bit more moody, right? Was that a first person game, I want to say, but that was like very fucking just
yeah,
in its own unique world. But I could easily see that trailer devolving into that. But yeah, apparently it was Stalker.
it's like that game is essentially Stalker meets BioShock in the weirdest way possible.
That's very
So.
true. Yeah, that's a good analogy or comparison. So we had Warhammer Darktide, a 4-player co-op shooter. Do you know much about Warhammer? I know that's a huge property, but this one didn't really, call it to me. But I don't know if you're familiar with that whole thing.
I like Warhammer 40K more than I like Warhammer. And this seems like it's going to be basically the 40K version of Vermintide, as far as we can tell. And Vermintide is fantastic. It's basically Left 4 Dead set in the Warhammer universe. Now we don't know until we play it, but it sounds like this is going to be Left 4 Dead in the 40K universe. So that's going to be really exciting. They also announced, I don't know if it was today or just very recently, that even though they're going to be working on this, they're not slowing down support for Vermintide 2. So just a ton of content out of these people makes me really want to go play Vermintide like right now. I should have bought it when it was on sale for like $10.
I feel like that's another Game Pass game, or at least it was at one point. But I know I'd seen it and I'd passed it by. But I could be wrong. But
I don't think it's that expensive.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
Now going down the list, we got Tetris Effect Connected. So we already have Tetris Effect, but this is adding a multiplayer aspect to it. And I guess the original Tetris Effect didn't have that when it was on PlayStation. So there's an update to the Transcendental Tetris Effect. Have you seen footage on this? Like, are you interested at all? It looks like a cool spin on that Tetris gameplay, and there's a strong like music aspect to it. And it just seems like trippy and sweet.
No, I never played Tetris 99 or Tetris Effect, and it does seem like this may be a combination of the two. Um,
I'm not
Tetris
sure.
99,
Yeah, I know the
but
99 had the battle royale thing, and I think this is more smaller based kind of multiplayer stuff, and that the whole multiplayer aspect to this is new because that when it was originally on PlayStation, and there was like a PSVR version too, it didn't have that multiplayer aspect to it.
gotcha. So you might be right about Grounded just straight up releasing uh tomorrow.
Mm,
Oh, as an early access game.
I
Oh,
see.
okay.
Gotcha. And that's a Game
Yeah.
Pass game too, so I'm gonna be jumping in on that.
I may have to check it out. People like the demo.
Gotcha. Yeah, I want to try it. So let's see, we got Tetris Effect that was announced or connected. The Gunk, a science fiction cleanup adventure. What did you think of this one? This one seemed cool. I was thinking throughout the conference there wasn't like a family friendly kind of game yet. Like a Blinks or something like that. And this kind of seemed like it had that vibe to it.
Did you just pull Blinks out of your ass?
Yeah, that was original Xbox property where you're kind of messing with time, but it was very like kid friendly, family friendly kind of game, and I just got those vibes somewhat with this because she has that cool arm. And she's like sucking stuff in there.
Right.
I was thinking of his like little vacuum cleaner.
Well, I think you could count certainly like Everwild,
Yeah,
Ori, maybe Avowed. I don't know. Psychonauts. But yeah, that looked gorgeous. If nothing else, it was stylized in a fantastic fashion.
yeah.
And just looks super. I'm down. I think it looks great. Can't wait.
I agree. So now this next one gave me a really strong control vibe, so I'm super stoked for it. Look at Blooper Teams, the medium, in which you play in two realities at the same time. So one thing they're really driving home about this game is that there's two different worlds levels that they're loading at the same time that you would switch back and forth. I don't know how fast, but that's their whole kind of marketing scheme with this game is that there's
I
two
don't
different.
even know that you're switching. I don't think you're switching. I think that's the deal. I think you literally have the screen split in half and you're playing in both worlds at the exact same time.
Gotcha. Now I wonder though with like puzzle aspects, are you seeing both worlds at the same time, or they play with the fact that at one point you can see one world, you have to kind of guess, and then you just flip back? Is it all under your control, or does the game decide when it goes back and forth, or exactly like you're saying, like you're seeing both levels at the same time? Either way, it looks pretty nuts.
Sure. I mean, I imagine in cutscenes it might, switch to one or the other, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's during gameplay you're just locked in. I'm looking at a little bit of footage right now, and it is interesting how there's slight like their animations aren't exactly one to one, and I'd be curious kind of why
Hmm.
that is. It's also going to be a massive pain in the okay, so gotcha. So one character here switches to first person so they can sort of analyze a cabinet. And they just found a very Resident Evil style switch behind something. So yeah, maybe it does kind of switch specifically to one for instances. Um,
Oh yeah, and
huh.
there's times where you can see both worlds in one screen. Um,
Yeah, which is hard. I mean, that not only is that hard just due to like keeping all the shit loaded, but it's also hard because that's a lot to be rendering uh, at once. Whoa. So one character is turning back a clock, and that's
mm,
rewinding time, and the
yep.
other. Wow.
Yeah, I was
This
just
is the problem. When I was watching this conference, I was working, so I couldn't really pay attention.
gotcha.
Uh, wow.
Yeah, and I think there were some other kind of breakdowns that I was reading over the weekend. The fact that like we're seeing this kind of tech now because of SSDs, because of like just overall like hardware advancements. Like I think devs can now count on people having just like a base level, either PC or console, that they can now use like this extra RAM, this extra or faster hard drive speed to create stuff like this. Like this can become the norm now. We've seen it in levels, like we just played through Titanfall. There's that level where you can switch back and forth, and that's just one level though.
Yeah.
There's another game that did that recently. Oh, Dishonored 2 had that, but for one level. And this seems like the whole game is built on that whole scheme.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks super interesting. It's one of those. Yeah, if it gets good enough, I'll definitely jump in on this. Just give it a check out. So I'm glad people are still being willing to put some sort of budget behind something so experimental. That's for sure.
I agree. I agree. So we got the next one here. I don't know much about this, but Sega showed off Phantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis. I've always heard about this property, but yeah, do you know very much about what's going on there?
It's popular. I could give a shit,
Yeah,
but
same here.
not because it's popular. I just could give a shit. But people love it. People are gonna play it.
Yeah.
I don't think this is new. I think this game already exists. It's just coming to Xbox Series X. I could be wrong in that, but I don't think I am.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll see. People love it. That's for them. Cool. We
Yeah.
also had a military shooter Crossfire X campaign will be out this year, and it's being done by Remedy. What do you think about this? Did you watch some of the footage? This seems really cool. Anything Remedy does, really, I'm on board for.
It's weird seeing like Remedy making now. I guess Control was more of a pure shooter, but like, really was it though? No, it's fucking weird and
Right.
crazy. So this seems it's definitely neat to see them doing something closer to a more traditional shooter. But that being said, Remedy still going to Remedy. So I'm sure it'll be great. Have they? I mean, even their like not that great stuff is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 1, I hear, is pretty good. It may not be fun, but it's pretty good.
Yep, same with Quantum Break. I've heard that it was overall, a good experience, and they're doing really cool stuff where they're trying to mend the whole TV show, like live action TV show, with the gameplay. Like that was the whole
Right.
thing. They just really try and take chances, and this seems more like a Call of Duty campaign. But if they're adding their, Remedy spin of being unique about it, and then having this, I don't know if they're using the engine that was already with Crossfire. I don't know much about Crossfire, or if they're using their own engine for this. But either way, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I don't. I'd be curious there. I don't know who's making Crossfire X's multiplayer.
Yeah, and I guess they'd have to use the bones of that. They can just, put their own in there. But yeah, I just don't know much yet. But it's coming out this year apparently, so we'll get to find out soon.
Hey, hey, hey! There we go.
Now this last one here is this was the big, cool Easter egg at the end, or just like one more thing announcement. But it's Fable. We're getting a Fable story-based or storybook fantasy game. Fable is being revived by British studio Playground Games. How do you feel about the Fable franchise? Was this one of the big, exciting moments for you, or how do you feel about them bringing back Fable?
I don't replay games hardly ever, and I've replayed Fable 1 3 or 4 times now.
Mm,
And again, I don't replay games.
yeah,
So it's just that the gameplay is so nice, the story is so just light and fluffy. Um it's really fucking delightful. And they sort of lost some things. Like, it really annoyed me in like Fable 2 and 3 where like your customization just wasn't there. And maybe that's not fair. Maybe I need to go back and replay those games, but I felt like the RPG mechanics of the way you played wasn't there as much as it was in this one, in the original. So hopefully they kind of take some of the good stuff of the first Fables, mix in some. I'm going to close my door here. Can you hear that?
I couldn't know.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so hopefully they take the best stuff from Fable, keep the humor, keep the whole interacting with. I mean, we're in a world where you could go even bigger with the Fable, like all that bullshit Peter Molyneux is spouting with the original Fable, where you plant a fucking tree.
Right.
We could do that really right now. It wouldn't be that. We got Watch Dogs coming out, about to flip the whole world on its head with its crazy mechanics. So who knows what they'll do with this? Probably not planting a tree. That's a dumb thing to do. But I'm glad it's back. I'm glad it's not dead. I still wish the last Fable game would have came out, the one where it was going to be like 3-player versus somebody who's the evil overlord. That sounded like it would have been fun in the
Oh,
Fable
interesting.
universe. Yeah, I hope it's good. I'll give it a shot. I will give it an honest to God shot. It's weird that it's being made by a racing game studio. I guess Playground Games. I think they worked on, what did they work on?
Yeah, they do Forza, the whole Forza
Yeah,
series.
Forza. So you got these. So this game's gonna at least run at 60 frames per second.
At
Uh,
breakneck speeds, yeah.
right, and that's a weird thing too. Like, rendering a racing game is I feel like it's very different to make a racing game pretty compared to a
Right.
more traditional action RPG. So hopefully, if nothing else, maybe it's gonna have absolutely gorgeous looking levels. Um, But
Yeah, no, I was when I saw this announcement, I was excited for people that are Fable fans because I know it's a huge property. It's been demanded
did you
for
never
so
play?
long. I did. I played the original on the original Xbox when I got it as a kid, and I liked it. But I even remember being a kid and understanding that they're really promising a lot with the whole like being able to choose your character's destiny and how you become either a good guy, a bad guy, and that like changes the visual aspects of your character. Where if you become more evil, you have the scars, you have like the gross aspects of you versus like if you're a more positive character. I like that, but even then, I just felt like there wasn't much really there. Like you have the cool like cosmetic stuff that changes and people kind of like run away from you, the townspeople. I just wanted more. And so really now would be the time to do it where you could fully flesh out those options. That's what I'm hoping they do. It's not just those two, versions of the character. Like maybe there's more grayness or they just fully flesh out those features of what aspects your character takes on when you make your decisions. But I don't know, the writing's always cool. It's a cool, English kind of dry humor stuff, which I dug. And other than that, it just never called out to me after playing that first one. But I know people love it.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully it will. Maybe that should be my next game I replay through is Fable 2 and 3. Actually give them a proper shot. I know 3 had a cool element of like this whole time you're trying to dethrone the king
Hmm.
because you don't believe in their decisions, and then you become the king and you have to make shitty decisions because there's not enough money and resources to go around to save the kingdom.
Yeah.
So it's like the thing you fought against is now you're that thing.
That's pretty cool. I do respect that, and if they could explore that more, just the grayness and of reality, like I really dig that idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. People are loving it. I'm excited for them. Now, let's next meaty thing we can chew on. Now, this is Halo Infinite. They started off the show with this, showing off gameplay, which I was expecting them to kind of have it at the end, but I respect that they showed it right off the bat, full blown into gameplay. We'll pick it apart, but what do you think overall with what they showed with that Halo Infinite gameplay?
Sure. Give me 2 seconds to shut my door.
Yeah, shut that door, Gavin. I will queue up some stuff in the background, some videos, and speak out loud.
It was definitely weird coming from having. I'm going to pull this up now.
Mhm.
Watching it on my phone. On my phone, it looked absolutely phenomenal. It
Mm.
looked really, truly fantastic. So I didn't get to. I mean, I think the gameplay looks fun. It looks like old school for the most part Halo, and that's what we wanted. And that's kind of what we got. I definitely do get the complaints kind of about the graphics now that I've seen it. And I saw a Digital Foundry's sort of explanation about why the graphics look bad, which is something I've never had words to, where stuff is lit in this particularly funny way, where it looks glowing. And I'm glad they kind of gave me some words for something I've seen in so many games now. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and yeah, it does look funny, and I don't know that they're going to be able to fix that time. I guess one of the people on Twitter that works at Bungie was just like, guys, it's a work in progress, but as we talked about today, like, yeah, that you better progress fucking fast because you got what 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
So we'll see, and we don't know if this is this Series X gameplay or is this regular gameplay? If this is Series X gameplay, is the lighting suddenly gonna just jump dramatically when they throw all the stuff on? I don't know, but yeah, gameplay looks fun, so we'll take that.
So there's a one thing to add. You asked if this is on Series X. So they did confirm after the event that this was running on PC hardware that had the same specs that are comparable to an Xbox Series X. So it's not running on the thing yet. And they've said that this is an older build. Those are all things that are fair, that are common in games when we see the demos run. It's just you kind of want to not. And I wouldn't say they fucked this up at all, but if we're just kind of picking it apart, you kind of want to not fuck this up and give anyone really any room to kind of find these little bits and talk about how the lighting isn't quite there yet and falls flat. So one thing they also talked about is how there's RTX update is going to come eventually for this. So it's not going to be there for day one. So I'm not sure, since it is 4 months out, what is going to change from this demo. But it has a lot of people, curious, like what are we going to expect when we see this come holiday season?
Sure. Yeah. It is honestly too bad that like the graphics were so jarring that the conversation became about the graphics rather than the game itself. Because yeah, the game looks fun. I'm still trying to see if you can aim down sights with something that is not.
So I watched it over a couple times since I told you, because I had told you like, oh, I was pretty sure you could aim down sights. You don't, and I think they made a conscious effort of showing you don't aim down sights. The closest you get to it is the battle rifle that they have. You have the scope version, but you could do that in all of Halo games. So I was just seeing that for some reason in my memory. I thought that they had added that, but that is not a thing. Let's go over some of the things that they do add for the first time in this trailer. So I mean, there's some new things we got to see. There's the grappling hook. I think it's called the hook shot, that's cool. That's a whole new Halo thing. We got, the sprint aspect is still there. One thing I found really cool about that grappling hook is that it's timed. So you have a little meter that does drain once you use it. So you can't just zip around the map, although you can use it on terrain and enemies and even objects so you can pull it closer to you. But you mentioned the gameplay looks fun. That's my big thing, is that this looks fun as hell. We can pick apart the graphics. I get that. That's a whole other conversation. But I think they focused on this thing runs at 60. It looks fun. It's super sandboxy, and that's really what I want to see with Halo. I might still have my criticisms, but like I'm now even more stoked to play this after watching this demo.
Sure. Yeah. No, it looks. Hopefully, it's what they put all this time and effort into. That they say that they made a custom engine for this game because it can't be made on anything else. So hopefully, we get to see what that is that couldn't be done anywhere else. Because like they mentioned, there's a time of day cycle on this, but you can do a dynamic time of day in Unreal. So I haven't seen anything that couldn't be done in Unreal so far, I guess, is my thing. And again, they say their ability to make tools, to make other tools, which allows gameplay designers to just go nuts. Hopefully that's there. Maybe they're really expanding Forge. That would be amazing. I think if you have, maybe I've talked to you about this already, but like a Forge, where you can really, really go nuts, because you look at how much, Hammer Editor allowed people to go nuts with Counter-Strike and really any sort of Half-Life game or anything related to that engine. People go nuts. The modding community go nuts. So if you have people going crazy on PC, doing all these mods, making these crazy fun game modes, and then you allow them to port that to the Xbox through some system, then you're just going to have this community that's just growing and growing and growing and do all these amazing things. This game will have more legs than you ever know what to do it with. And that could be why they need an engine. If you have this engine that can handle all these, it just as much as players can throw at it, that could potentially be. So I'm hoping that's what we find out. I don't feel like this game has truly revealed its hand yet. And I cannot wait to see what that is. And I hope I'm right. And I think I'm right.
Yeah, I think I share those same hopes that they haven't shown everything. I mean, obviously, they really haven't shown much besides this initial chunk. But yeah, I'm hoping that the claims of having to build a new engine is based on something like having to fully, detail Forge. At the moment, though, it doesn't look like this engine on the surface level shows that this is like a next gen built from the ground up thing. I think this looks like you could argue that this is an Xbox One X game. I wonder the reality is of their development time, if this was maybe meant intentionally to release cross platform from the get go, and does that mean that One X holds it back, or is it able to scale higher for Series X? I don't know. I think this one does show me that the fact that they are trying to shoot for every console release with all these newer next gens coming up, or next gen games coming up rather, I feel like it does kind of hold it back. I don't get the vibe that this is built from the ground up and it only can be done on next gen. I don't think that is. And maybe if they didn't kind of claim that, then I wouldn't be as worried. But so far, it's.
I guess that's the thing. They didn't claim that. They said from the get go this is going to run on Series X.
You're right.
As well as One X.
You're right about that, but I guess part of the marketing is tied around the Series X being this like graphical juggernaut. This is the most powerful next gen console, and that's. I'm not saying that's not true. It's just what also has been kind of marketed as the flagship for the Series X is Halo Infinite, and to not really have this thing completely turned up doesn't show me that I really need to buy an Xbox Series X for this. Now, granted, part of the marketing is saying just that. You don't need a Series X to play this. You can play this on your Xbox One, on your phone, on xCloud. Like, you don't need this new device, but give me a reason why I should like look over the fence and start wondering how I'm going to buy this thing. But at the moment, this game, I feel like I can play it on my Xbox One X just fine.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree.
Now, there's some other stuff we can pick apart. Now, I guess I'm curious and I'm theorizing. Is it possible? And I really think they want to avoid this at all costs. But is it possible that this gets pushed back past that Series X launch?
It's possible. I certainly hope not. When you consider this could be the first time that a Halo game has released alongside an Xbox since the original.
Right.
Which, to be fair, they've only had like 4 generations. It's not like Sony and Nintendo where they've had a bajillion generations of consoles. Well, I guess Xbox kind of jumped in right around the PlayStation 2. So I guess it's not like Nintendo in the sense that they've had a bajillion consoles.
Right. It's been 20 years.
But has it? Oh.
Yeah, 2001, I want to say, was the Xbox.
Felt that in my bones.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember buying this thing, like the original Xbox. So it's like, yeah, it's been some time. But no, I mean, I'm just kind of like maybe not trying to be gloom and doom, but I wonder if the reception was negative enough. I don't think it is for them to be like, maybe we need to make sure that this thing is graphically demanding of something for the Series X. The thing is, though, it's not only for the Series X. It's something that you can stream. It's something you can play on your regular Xbox. So, as long as the core gameplay is intact, which I think it is, that's why they focused on it for this demo. I think it's going to be a blast. It's just, you kind of want to make sure your ducks are in a row for the internet, because the internet does what it does. It shits on everything. And this had a lot of moments where you could easily shit on it.
Yeah, totally agree. So,
but I'm overall still very positive on it. I can't wait. I haven't been excited for Halo in a long time. I was even looking at T-shirts because one of the presenters on the stream had this really dope light blue T-shirt that said Infinite on it, Halo Infinite on it, and I was just like Googling how do I find that shirt because it looks dope, and I'm now a full-blown like Halo fanboy again. I'm very excited, but I understood some of the criticisms that people had. I do think it looks better when you watch their 4K stream or like the actual like straight YouTube stream, which they do recommend. It doesn't look as bad, like there's better textures, although you can still see in Digital Foundry, which did a great breakdown, and a lot of it ended up going over my head, but they did a great breakdown on like the pop-in in the background and some of the textures, the lighting being the main thing. So assuming they can fix those things in 4 months, then this will look better. I just don't know. That's a lot to do.
Yeah, the lighting thing definitely surprised me kind of the most. And I guess I didn't realize how little games can handle self shadows. And while you definitely see it in games, I was kind of like looking at other games on Twitch after having watched that video and saying who can really do what. Definitely looking at the newest Call of Duty, which is just an absolute jaw dropper.
Mm-hmm.
I still has some of that weird glowing model effect, but more so it's willing to let models be dark. Absolutely all the way black. It's willing to take that chance. So I mean, it's definitely crazy that the current Call of Duty just blows this game out of the water, and it's definitely got world that's just as big when you look at the Battle Royale mode.
That's very true.
And it's moving around that mode at 1,000 miles an hour. God forbid you have a hard drive dedicated to anything else. Yeah, so we'll.
Now, there were some little news tidbits they talked about after the trailer. One of them is that, so I kind of pulled these from various outlets on the internet. Halo Infinite will be the platform for new Halo experiences for the foreseeable future. So no Infinite 2 or Halo 7 in the near future. They're setting this up as like a games as a service kind of thing. You log in here, there's updates, there's DLC, but Halo itself is now this. It's Halo Infinite.
We better have cool modes. That's all I can say. You better keep those fun modes popping out. Give us those highlights. That's why I think the community made content would be great for this. Community made maps.
Oh yeah,
modes. That could really keep it going. But hopefully, we'll have to see. I mean, didn't they do that with Halo 2 or 3, where like the zombie mode came out of Forge?
Oh yeah, there's that one. There's like a Griff Ball or whatever. That's a community built mode. So yeah, like if they lean on that creative aspect of it, but it seems like just the also from the like the campaign, they're building the ring as itself, like where they can add levels to it. They can add like just content, sort of like Destiny, where they just keep adding stuff to it. So you don't have to worry about Halo, the next Halo. You just have this game and you buy the DLC, but they just keep supporting this thing as a whole, and that's what the next series of Halo is. It's just infinite.
We'll see. It'd be interesting if they could make that work. I mean, it worked for Microsoft. Experimented with that with Killer Instinct, and it paid off gloriously.
Mm.
Took about a season to really get going, but fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm still very positive. Now it's on point to apparently release this holiday season. There still isn't an exact date. It's just for Series X and for Halo Infinite. It's holiday 2020. So we'll see what comes out with that. But yeah, that was the big kind of takeaway from the show. And everyone kind of picked it apart. And there were some agreeable or understandable criticism. Some people were just talking shit as they do on the internet.
Right. Can't be helped.
No. One thing I did think, and they drove this home with this conference, and I feel like this is a huge. It could be its own conversation on its own. It's Game Pass, so they made sure that you understood it with this conference. Everything you saw here that was first party, which it was, is Game Pass content. So you get to play it once it comes out. For once you have that subscription, it's $50 a month. It's all on Game Pass. They're really setting Xbox.
Is it really $50 a month?
For Ultimate, for sure. I want to say regular Game Pass might be cheaper than that, but Ultimate for sure is $15. And there's deals all the time for like $5. Ultimate is where you have PC and Xbox included in there, and I want to say xCloud is also included in that tier.
God, that's a expensive. I mean, I don't know if they bring xCloud to PC and I can run Cyberpunk on my PC until they come out with the Xbox Series X HD.
Yeah. Okay.
Then yeah, I'll probably pay $50 a month. But as is, that's more than all my subscriptions combined.
Now I hear you on that, but let's break that down. So that's $15 a month, and you get now. Say this is the prime time to get it, but you have Halo Infinite, which is a $60 title. It's part of the Game Pass. You have Forza. You have all the games that are already on there. They have Red Dead 2. They have some of the newer Doom games. They have a bunch of stuff on there. So it's like it is $15 when you put in the context of all the other subscriptions. Yeah,
50 or 15?
15.
Oh, I thought you were saying 50.
Nope.
I don't give a shit about 15. I give a shit about 15 times, what is that, like 3.25?
It's math, yeah.
Yeah, we did them quick maths. No, that'd be, 3.25s. No, 3.33 repeating? All right, anyway. But,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, 15. No, that's my Hulu subscription plus
Gotcha.
$1. I don't, 15. I'll do that all day.
Sure. I mean, so yeah, it's a great deal, and that's the thing. It's they're really setting this up as its own platform. I think they're focusing less on other aspects, and they're really just showing, hey, whatever you play this on, we don't care. And they're almost even kind of throwing. That's the vibe I get. They're throwing Xbox Series X a little bit by the wayside. Whatever you have, we just want you to have Game Pass or xCloud, whatever their Xbox service is, to keep you on the loop. And that's where you get the best bang for your buck. So no matter where you are, you get to play this thing. And it's kind of, and I've seen other people online break this down to a better degree. If you were to put this in the context of what we want as gamers, everyone's talking about like, oh, we need a Netflix for gaming, or that's a common thing. If you pay per month, but you get all this access to stuff, that's what they're doing. They're creating that where they have all this content. You pay per month, and if you want to buy titles, you still can. You can still buy the full titles that you own, and Netflix doesn't even offer that. It's kind of amazing. A deal to see them do that, and no other platform, no other gaming company is trying to do that kind of to that degree anyways.
And then you look at Epic, which is just handing you free shit willy-nilly to try and get you over here. Yeah, it's weird, all these different routes people are taking at this point, and they are very, very different. So no one's really done this, and we're trying it out. And man, do they just make Google Stadia look fucking dumb, especially if xCloud comes to PC. Stadia has literally nothing at this point.
Yeah.
What?
That's an accurate reaction to, because what is Stadia providing? I mean, xCloud is just eating their lunch, and you have all these titles that are already there. Because that was one big thing with Stadia; they don't have the content behind it to demand the monthly, subscription. And Xbox says, "Hold my 360 controller. Here you go. I got your back. All this stuff here." And xCloud is left in the dust, a Stadia. Unless Stadia pulls out of their ass, I mean, they have to dramatically drop the price per month, but also have a all included price point. They don't have that right now with Stadia. You pay to access their service to then buy the games. They need to drop all that shit and let you pay per month and have access to everything. And that's what xCloud is going to do. And so if they don't get their shit together by September, I don't see how they survive longer than another, year from now. I don't get how that works.
And this is the thing, like Google is so willing to throw money at stuff only to throw it away immediately.
Right.
This is why I'm curious. I'm logging in right now to see if I can still play xCloud on my phone for free. Could not sign in. There was an issue signing in.
Yeah, there's a beta. I'm not sure if the beta is still running, but it's getting closer to September where I guess they would stop that beta. But I know
Oh
they
shit!
expanded the titles on that beta for a while.
Right. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's where I
try.
first played. I played Gears 5 on that xCloud service for the first time, and it ran pretty good. Like there's still issues for sure, but just to have that and have it work along with Game Pass, I mean, it's just it's all stacking up really against Stadia going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see how they survive this one.
No.
Again, if it comes to PC, but this it's gonna be an interesting generation. Right now, Sony definitely has more exclusives um, that I care about. Really, once Cyberpunk comes out, I think everything's gonna be a weird time until somebody can come up with the next big thing to excite us after Cyberpunk. I mean, the closest thing I think we really had in that whole press conference, for sure, oddly enough, was that Avowed from Obsidian.
Sure.
I want to give them another shot. They better fix the gameplay so it doesn't suck. That's my only thing, because I absolutely didn't like that gameplay at all at any point throughout Outer Worlds. There was no part of that I enjoyed
Mm.
gameplay. It was just the story and making decisions and having the option to pick the dumb answer and always picking the dumb answer every time.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'm very excited for that. But you're right. I mean, I guess that's what they'll have to do with the next year or so is build up what is the future. What are we going to look forward to? What are the reasons to buy these next gen machines if we do need to? We still haven't seen these big juggernauts yet. So besides Cyberpunk, which is this, it seems like that's a next gen game. That's in the next couple months. So after that, I mean, it's up to. But it's also that's a cool time where we don't know what's coming down the line. We don't know what a lot of these devs are working on. So it's kind of a cool time when you think about it because now all this stuff is past us. It's the sky's looking pretty good. Like it's all possible, assuming we all survive to see what that is. It could be dope.
Right, right. And as a perfect game for me to load up to see if this thing still works, we're gonna do Plague Tale, which is appropriate. Let's see if this
Too
works.
soon, Gavin.
We'll see if I can start this
Yeah, let me know because you started this like a minute, 2 minutes ago or
while
so.
streaming. Yeah, no, I just got logged in. So we'll see if I can stream, and we'll see if my audio goes to absolute shit.
There's gonna be some kind of give and take, yeah. So that might happen.
It's gonna be rough. My
But
phone is already overheating.
from what I remember with my time with xCloud, it didn't take that long to load up. It was maybe a good like 30, 45 seconds ish, depending on the game. But do you have your controller paired to it? Because I think it needs a controller.
I don't have. You need an Xbox One
Right.
controller, and I do not have one. So
Mm.
really, also apparently my saying my connection isn't super hot right now. Yeah, it's running. It'll go for about we'll say 2.5 seconds, and then it'll lag, and then it'll go for 2.5 seconds and it'll lag.
Interesting.
I could yeah, I may have to borrow one of your Xbox controllers and actually
Yeah.
give this a fair shake. That being said, I've got too many games as is.
Right.
That's cool. So you can still do the demo, and they've added new stuff. They've added Bleeding Edge.
There's a bunch of stuff on there. Yeah, for sure.
They're still adding. Like that's crazy.
Hmm.
Huh.
That's what I mean. Yeah, $15 a month. You get all that.
Battle Chasers. I've been trying to figure out what the name of that game was called. Battle Chasers. I was gonna buy that,
Uh.
and now I'm gonna buy that.
Nice. Well, we'll see what happens with your xCloud update, Gavin. But we'll
Yeah.
move on to the next thing. We'll kind of put a button on that stuff. We have some news of The Witcher. I thought this was right up your alley. You're a huge fan of The Witcher Netflix series, so they announced a spinoff.
Yes, we did.
The Witcher Blood Origin Netflix spinoff series announced. This is Matt Purslow of IGN. And I have the thing here. So, Netflix has announced The Witcher Blood Origin, a new spin-off prequel series set in the world of The Witcher. So this is from the Netflix Twitter account. 1,200 years before Geralt of Riveria, I'm butchering that. Geralt of Rivera.
This whole sentence has gotten absolutely wrecked.
Has it? 1,200 years before Geralt of Rivera. There we go. The worlds of monsters, men, and elves merge into one. The first Witcher came to be, announcing The Witcher Blood Origin, a 6-part live-action The Witcher spin-off series from Declan DeBarra and Lauren Schmidt-Hirsrich. A new tweet from the Netflix NX account states that the series will look at the period 1,200 years before The Witcher's protagonist, Geralt of Rivia, walked the lands of Northern Kingdoms. This prequel series will focus on how the first Witcher was created. Gavin, how do you feel about them going into this?
Well, it's pronounced Rivia.
What was I saying? Riviera?
Right. I don't fucking. You were adding syllables.
Let's put a little spin on it.
Exist. But no, it looks. This is my first time. I saw the article. I didn't have time to read it today, so this is my first time kind of hearing about it. I hope it's good. That would be cool. I think that's a unique setting where we get to learn about the origin of the Witchers. You think about, they even say like when they're trying to make new Witchers in this universe, how many of them die during that process. So, how many people are going to die during the process of inventing the Witcher?
Right.
Like that's pretty exciting. I have hopes. But I don't know if this exists in the universe of The Witcher already, because I don't read the books. I've never checked out any of the Witcher books, so I'd be curious to know, is this a known entity? Is this sort of the Silmarillion to the Witcher series? I don't know. How are you kind of feeling about the whole thing?
I mean, I'm on board. I don't know what I guess they're going to mine from content that's already in the books, I would imagine. They're not like veering off. So
Sure.
I don't know who the main characters would be. They'd have to make sure they're beefy enough or hot enough to compare with Henry Cavill and that chin. So as long as they... Right, as long as they hit those benchmarks, which they have to, then I'm down. I mean, it's a really cool world. I love the magic mixed with this. It's just I just love how brutal this world is. I don't know if 1,200 years in the past means it's a complete change, as far as like the how they speak or what's going on, any of the stuff with society involved. I don't know how far in the past this really changes things, but I think it's cool, and it's different enough that it's not going to affect the main entry in the Witcher series.
Yeah, I'd be very curious. Well, it's interesting. I mean, 12. That's such a big period of time. You think about the way technology moves so quickly, right? Like even in the past. So maybe they won't even have swords, right? This is where maybe there's more magic in this universe because they haven't invented proper technology. They're using magic for everything, and eventually it starts to go to steel and all this stuff. I don't know. Yeah,
it's interesting. Maybe they could. Yeah, they do rely on magic more, and I'm on board. It's really cool to see that this Witcher series, beyond the games, is really exploding, and it's like a whole, with Game of Thrones gone. Really, I mean, there's this whole void that people want to explore. So go for it. I think they've really struck at the right time.
Sure. Although I will say, and I think this is something a lot of viewers say, so maybe my opinion is tainted, but like this show is not Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I think a lot of people went into it expecting that, and a lot of people are disappointed because it wasn't Game of Thrones. So I don't know what.
Yeah, I hear you
I mean,
on that.
maybe it's sucking people in with that, but I don't know. It is still crazy that once this show came out, the game sold better than it ever sold.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
You wouldn't think it possible, but TV, the power of TV.
Yep.
I tell you, how Call of Duty hasn't had a movie or a TV show at some point.
I mean, it's called the news. I guess going through the Iraq War, like it was
Right,
just
right.
watching that on TV.
When's Madden gonna get a multi-show per week show?
You're right, just
You know
like
what
a
I mean?
gritty.
Every week, you can make it a reality TV show. You put
I want to make some calls. You're onto something, Gavin. Now, you mentioned Call of Duty. We'll transition to our next article here. This is some more rumor, and this will be the last rumor thing that I ever bring up Call of Duty because I'm sure we're getting closer to this actually being announced. But we have a rumor leaked Doritos promo further confirms Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So, of course, leave it to Doritos to betray the Call of Duty series here. Chris Moyes of Destructoid has the article.
Whatchamacallit? Was it inevitable betrayal? There's
Right.
something else. But inevitable betrayal. There we go.
Mm. So this weekend, images surface online from gaming-friendly snack brand Doritos, offering further confirmation that this year's Call of Duty entry will be Black Ops Cold War. The unverified photos, posted on dedicated COD fan community Modern Warzone, seem to show a tie-in campaign set for the next release in Activision's blockbuster franchise. Pictured is the supposed logo for the new game, along with the novel competition prize of double XP for a year. Truly a reward for the modern day if there ever was one. This Doritos campaign further turns a Cold War rumor mill. Back in May, sneaky hackers were able to access locked assets within Battle Royale, sister title Warzone, finding vintage spy planes and nuclear weapon iconography, suggesting that Black Ops' time-hopping narrative will indeed focus on this frightening conflict of unease and distrust. And so the actual image here is from the Doritos bag, and it's just shows the XP there. So it's apparently this is a legit thing, and it just shows that we're getting closer to them eventually showing this off.
And I tell you what, if you cannot trust Doritos to not leak your stuff, who can you trust?
You
in
really
this world?
can't. Yeah.
I'm gonna take my mom off my emergency contract or contact at this point because this has shattered my world. It was her, Mr. Moneybags from Monopoly, and Chester the Cheetah. But fuck, this is.
It's a dark day.
Have we gone to Doritos.com/Call of Duty? I'm gonna do that right now.
You can check it out. It might be them just saying, "Hey, we're sorry," pleading for forgiveness or for trust.
Duty.
Although, if you remember in the past, like when other leaks and stuff, it's often the marketing side that leaks it. Like when the promos go out, they go out before the announcements in anticipation, and that's where a lot of this stuff leaks. Even like the Sonic movie, the first images of that old version of Sonic was from marketing stuff that had leaked beforehand.
Sure. That link just takes you to Doritos.com, but it didn't give me a 404 like say this part doesn't because I assume I can't just do Doritos.com/butt stuff, which I will be trying now.
That's how hackers work. That's you're hacking right now.
Nope, that's not how you do that.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Jesus Christ! So apparently, I just typed in /butt stuff, and what in the world is this? Now I want to watch this YouTube video because at first it just said interactive butt stuff, and it had a funny looking thumbnail, and now I'm just gonna. Okay, apparently this is what I'm watching with this dud. This looks funny. I don't know.
How's the interactive butt stuff work?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's got a very funny thumbnail. So this is going to be.
Well, that's how they get you.
So Doritos, yeah, this is how you end up doing butt stuff.
Slippery slope.
You eat a Dorito. What's a type of burrito? Hold on, butt stuff. Just want to see if this works. Oh, okay, so it will. Yeah, so if you type in Doritos.com/butt stuff, it will it will say, "Oops, can't find that page you're looking for." But Doritos.com/Call of Duty redirects you to just regular Doritos.com. So
interesting. That means they're getting ready. I mean, behind the scenes to load that with like the proper page, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then you get that flaming hot nacho flavored butt stuff is where we're going.
Wow, so butt stuff really confirmed this for us. It's pretty interesting that using that simple life hack.
Oddly enough, yeah, butt stuff. What a weird day.
It wouldn't be complete until we did something like that, Gavin. Alrighty. Now we'll go with our next one here. It is about G4 TV coming back. We got Comcast is bringing back G4 TV in some form. So this is from Engadget. I'm going to butcher this name. Igor Bonifacic. Long defunct cable television network G4 is returning sometime in 2021, according to a teaser posted. Poster just fell in my room. The 1 minute video doesn't provide many details of what we expect from the network moving forward. So there's a trailer that I have ready to go, Gavin, if you want to watch it, but it's just the reveal promo trailer. G4 went on air in 20. Gotcha. G4 went on air in 2002 and featured a variety of tech and gaming related programming. Besides shows like X Play and Attack of the Show, G4 is probably best known for helping launch the career of actor Olivia Munn. Comcast subsidiary NBC Universal Cable shuttered the network in 2014. One possibility is that G4 could feature in the company's plans for Peacock, that's the NBC streaming service. On July 15th, the streaming service became available to anyone who wanted to subscribe to it. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like, what is this going to be like? What does this actually mean to bring G4 back in this day and age? But how you feeling about this?
I definitely don't like the writing of that article where it says best known for launching Olivia Munn's career. I think G4 was known for G4, as so many people knew G4 and loved G4. And Olivia Munn's acting career, I'm pretty sure, has come and gone already. I'd have to IMDb that one, but
Yeah, she does stuff. She's an X-Men, but yeah, that is weird phrasing because they're known for more than just launching Olivia Munn's career. But yeah,
right. But it's I really don't know what to. Oh, she is an X-Men.
yeah.
Ooh, that character looks familiar.
And she plays Psylocke, I want to say, or one of the characters there. But how do you feel? What would G4 be in this day and age? I mean, we kind of talked about it. Like, do we need this anymore? Like, this kind of birthed a lot of what the internet is now. But how do you go back to this?
Yeah, that's sort of the thing. I don't think we really need G4 anymore. It doesn't really have a place in television. How many people that pay attention to games like sit down and watch, like, when I've never sat down and watched like a television show. Maybe if this was something that had like episodes on Hulu and whatnot, but yeah, I don't know what to do with that one.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, G4 is known for starting this or popularizing the idea of like watching video game related content on TV. Now you have Twitch, now you have YouTube. It's all born from that idea once you built that kind of community. But to go back to it, it's like you just make a G4 TV like YouTube channel or Twitch channel. So I don't know if they're going to do something like that. I could see them giving the legs with that kind of idea. It's just a new platform, say like an IGN, that kind of thing. They're just doing their own thing, entering the space with that namesake that will bring people to it. They'd have to have, I imagine, like new personalities. Are they going to bring back those same personalities, or do they have the option of like coming back in so they can have Adam Sessler for an episode of something as like a cool knockback, or Olivia Munn comes back, or Kevin Pereira? Like, I don't know what they do, but I guess there's options. It's just kind of a weird thing.
The other thing too is like how many people like this was like their sole source for gaming news.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you needed a review, you waited for G4's review. You could not wait. And now, like, if they're doing, I don't know how many episodes they did of whatever that show was, X Play a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like these people, there's going to be the review. Like, let's say a game comes out on Friday, and that's not out till next Thursday. Like, you're going to be a week behind. Like, you're going to be so behind. Who's going to care? We're a generation of short attention spans, and we don't have time for this bullshit anymore. So
that's very true. They'd have to be able to update it quickly. And so maybe that's because one of the ideas in that article was that this is tied to NBC's Peacock app, which would let them release stuff instantly, but you have to then go to that special app just for their content. That means it's dead in the water. You got to have a presence on YouTube, on Twitch, like everyone else does. They're all over the internet, not just on one specific platform.
Right. Yeah,
It's weird. But I mean, if they need hosts or something, hey, give me a call. I'm not going to shy away from. If they need new people that don't know what they're doing, hey, I'm on board. I'm on board. But I don't know what the plan is. It just seems like it's old school, to kind of go back and create some kind of television based content like this. But we don't know for sure yet what they're going to do.
Right. Absolutely.
We will see, Gavin. So let's move on to our last one here. We got No Man's Sky. So we had talked about this, and we totally forgot that this was a thing, and it's not for lack of something cool. We just totally just passed on this, but there's a No Man's Sky Desolation update. So I don't know if you have the little video loaded up here, Gavin. I haven't seen this yet, so I'm actually
Oh
gonna watch
yeah,
it.
I don't think it's gonna blow your mind, but I think you'll like it.
I'm setting my expectations high, so just we'll see. But
Oh boy, all right, I'm playing.
okay. So playing this content right now, the video here. So I know this is horror based. This is like an add-on to add creepiness to like these ships here, right?
Man, it'd be so cool if this were a little bit more like it almost reminds me of the concept of Warhammer 40K Space Hulks. Where like you walk into these old desolate, Space Hulks, these giant, absolutely ginormous spaceships, and you're trying to, I don't know what the fuck you're doing in them, but then these xenomorphs come at you from every angle and are trying to take you down. They could pull that off in this universe, and I definitely think they could, especially with all this procedural generation. Make a big hulking ship that's worth tons of some sort of material if you can get to the core.
Right.
Be amazing.
No, that's a rad idea. I haven't seen that they actually have little, just organic, life, kind of like alien xenomorphs. That's really cool. Like the eggs that hatch, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of distortion. I don't know if that's to just create the whole horror theme, or you're gonna face stuff like that in the game, like with the distortion.
I think that was just a trailer. I think that was 100% an editing trick.
I see. Yeah, no, this is insane. I mean, it's just, we keep talking about it. We talked about it for a while, how they just keep adding content to this, and it's paid off, and it keeps paying off.
Yeah. We definitely don't know where they're going with it. I really hope it's good. Just keep adding, and then at what point do they just keep going on this forever? Is this going to be one day as big as my Call of Duty files?
I could see them, just working on this forever. I mean, if you have the support, if people keep buying it, then they have it. They could offshoot a team that's just based on No Man's Sky content, and they just keep working at it and keep creating stuff. And it's like a live service game where you get all this stuff. It's a game that's still supplied with content. So yeah, I think they could just keep going, basically.
And that's the thing. I don't know, because I don't play like Grand Theft Auto, but is all Grand Theft Auto's DLC free?
I don't believe so. I know there's it might be because of the whole pricing aspect is like the shark codes or whatever, the stuff you can buy. So I think they get money from people elsewhere with like the microtransactions, but I don't think the DLC is part of that, but I'm not 100% sure. It might actually be almost like Fortnite, how they have those like different tiers you buy to then access the content. It might be something like that.
Get your season passes.
Right.
Whatnot.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, I think they potentially could keep updating this and keep working on it, because it keeps every little bit that they add keeps grabbing someone from who's on the fence. They jump in now because of this content, so they can keep acquiring more fans and more players by adding stuff to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd be curious. Whatever happened I thought they put in like a rudimentary coding language into it at one point. So what kind of happened?
I think it's there. I know there's like a whole like music aspect to it where you can create a whole suite of like just editing and software, or songs rather. So I know there was that part, but I don't know with the coding.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought that was the same patch, and maybe it still is, and it's probably still in there. Maybe people just aren't taking advantage of it. I know somebody used it to make Rocket League in it, and it was very, very rudimentary.
Whoa.
Did exist.
That's awesome.
So
nice. Yep. So we got that.
Yep.
Cool, man. There's a whole stacked week of news. So much so my poster. So much so my poster melted off the wall for some reason.
We also we failed to discuss, because there wasn't that much to discuss, but Nintendo's press conference on Monday, which was existed.
Was that last week? Because I know we had skipped over a Nintendo thing because there just wasn't much there.
Mini? No, I think it was this week.
Another mini?
Was it another mini? Did we discuss it last week?
I think we did.
I could swear it was Nintendo Direct Mini July 20th, which would have been
That was last Monday.
last Monday. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah, because
yeah,
it happened on Monday, and there wasn't anything there, so we didn't talk about it on the show. Or I think we had referenced it on the show about how there was nothing there, but that was it.
I mean WWE Battleground
Cool.
doing that. Nintendo, please give us something for in place of E3, please.
You know what? I have heard criticism, and this is, I guess part of that is that there is kind of a drought for what is on the horizon for Nintendo. There isn't anything confirmed that's huge coming up. So people are hoping for something, some kind of cool announcement, but you have a lot of the stuff already out of the way. We could get more information on like Smash characters, that kind of thing. But other than that, I mean, there's no like actual title coming out very soon because it's all released already.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
don't think of anything like Zelda. I think we are all hoping for something Zelda related.
right, right.
Just didn't get it.
But knowing them, they would announce, "Hey, we have a really huge update for 2021," but they would announce that and give you like a couple days beforehand, and then it's here. So I don't think they're going to build it up. I think they're just going to say tomorrow we got a big announcement, and then maybe do like a longer direct that's just based on the next year.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. The future's up in the air. Everything's possible.
Come on, Nintendo, pull it out. I am at least glad everyone's doing a different strategy.
Yeah.
So we get something. We're always getting something. So that's very exciting.
Yep. I agree. All right, again, we'll end it there for the week. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Drunk Devs.
Awesome. And you can find us on Twitter as well, Plastic Heart Pod. That's it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week.